by a former South Korean military officer and pastor named John Kim. Dr. Kim was also known for being a great scholar. When Dr. Kim founded the school, he had one goal in mind: to help immigrants learn English and professional skills, as well as a variety of academic credentials. In doing this, students would be more qualified for certain jobs in the mainstream community. When the school first opened, it was located downtown in Oakland, and as it began to expand in enrollment, the campus was moved to its current location. The school is known for its associate's degree for a licensed practical nurse. On May 13, 2011, the university was approved to operate in California by the California Bureau of Private Post-Secondary Education. In addition to this, it was also approved by the State Board of Vocational Nursing and Psychiatric Technicians. According to the Oikos University website, the vision of the school is to educate emerging Christian leaders to transform and bless the world at every level, from the church and local community levels to the realm of the world entirely. The fulfillment of this vision inspires, motivates, drives, and defines the work of Oikos University. In addition to the School of Nursing, the university also has a School of Theology and a School of Music. They offer over 10 majors, minors, and programs. They employ 6 full-time faculty, and 85% of the students graduate in 4 years. Oikos University is a Christian college, and the administration requires that you accept the Oikos doctrinal statement. Leon was born on November 18, 1968. When he was young, he immigrated to the United States with his parents and 2 older brothers. He would later become a naturalized citizen. When Leon and his family arrived in the United States, they settled in Springfield, Virginia, which is located just outside Washington, D.C. After growing up in Springfield, he moved to Hayes, Virginia in 2007. He eventually moved into the Yorkview Apartments complex. While in Hayes, he acquired a few minor traffic citations, as well as some debt. In 2002, Leon decided to change his birth name. He thought it sounded too much like a girl's name. He decided that he had enough of Virginia, and made the move across the country and settled in the San Francisco Bay Area in California. His father lived in California, and Leon went to be closer to him. His mother had returned to Seoul, South Korea, where she later died. He owed more than $23,000 in federal taxes, and thousands more to banks and landlords for unpaid rent. Leon was down on his luck, and couldn't seem to make ends meet. He wanted to go to school where he could get some sort of education and obtain a job so he could provide for himself, which is when he decided to enroll at Oikos University. He asked his father for a loan of $6,000 in order to pay tuition and enroll at the school, and his father agreed. Leon always seemed to get caught in the shadows of his brothers, and couldn't get to the point where he could shine on his own. One of his brothers was in the United States Army and was a very decorated soldier. On March 8, 2011, this brother was killed in a car accident while on an assignment for the George C. Marshall Center in Virginia. The accident was absolutely tragic. Leon enrolled at Oikos University in the fall of 2011. After losing his mother and his brother, he was hoping things would only go up from here. How could they get any worse? He was excited about going to school for the first time in a long time, as his father could remember Leon was happy and excited.
He's a very nice guy. Always was here to, support his family, support his parents.
He wanted to go to nursing school so he could someday help the elderly. After a couple months of attending classes, it became clear to Leon that this school wasn't for him. He decided to withdraw from the program, and when he did so, he requested that the school refund his tuition of $6,000 so he could give the money back to his father. The university declined his request, and Leon was outraged. He consistently fought with the administrators of the school for his refund, even a part of it, but the school wouldn't agree. It appears this is what made Leon snap on April 2nd, 2012.
There is some information that the defendant wanted some money back for tuition he had paid, and it is also clear that he had focused on one particular administrator who was not present at the school on Monday.
You see, on April 2nd, Leon went to the school looking for one person, an administrator by the name of Ellen Cervellan, who was the faculty member that advised Leon he would not be getting a refund. When Leon arrived at the school, he learned that Ellen wasn't there. Instead of just going home, he wreaked havoc at the school, taking 7 innocent lives in the most heinous way possible. Police detained Leon at the Safeway supermarket and brought him down to the police station for questioning. Before the investigators could even read him his Miranda rights, Leon confessed, saying, "I think I killed 4 people." Police read him his rights and asked what exactly happened that day. Leon was forthcoming and willing to talk to police. He told them that he had a plan to kill the assistant director of nursing and then kill himself. After he couldn't find her, he became enraged. Leon stated that people were constantly teasing him at the school, and that the faculty at Oikos University did nothing to stop the harassing and let this behavior happen.
The information that we have received from some of the individuals who knew him at the school was that he was a loner and what some might call a loser, but that he didn't exhibit any behaviors that we're aware of that would have alerted anyone that he could commit such a murderous rampage.
While speaking about the shooting, Leon stated he really liked the teacher in the classroom and didn't want to harm her. He could see her hiding under a desk, and when he saw her, he felt bad that she had to witness him murder so many lives. 10 days after the shooting, on April 12, 2012, Leon did a recorded interview with CBS San Francisco from the Santa Rita jail. He stated that he was deeply sorry for his actions and apologized to all the families he had hurt. His lawyer told him not to discuss the case in detail with the reporter, but he could apologize. Even though he apologized, Leon made it clear he knew saying sorry wouldn't bring back their loved ones. While Leon claimed to have been made fun of for not speaking English clearly, people couldn't help but notice that during this interview, Leon was speaking English clearly, which muddied the waters of this case even more. He spoke for about 15 minutes with a plexiglass partition separating him from the reporter. While speaking, Leon's eyes were red from crying and wet with tears. He also held his hands over his face. He noted that he wanted to see his family, but knew that they didn't want to see him or have anything to do with him now. Leon was charged with 7 counts of murder, 3 counts of attempted murder, carjacking, and kidnapping would be the start of a long trail to justice. While he was in jail, Leon lost over 60 pounds and his personal hygiene was lacking significantly. He couldn't take care of himself. Leon was found incompetent to stand trial at a competency hearing on January 7, 2013, by 2 different psychologists who diagnosed Leon with paranoid schizophrenia. One of the doctors also deemed him to be incapable of assisting in his own defense. A total of 5 people testified at the hearing, and on January 28, 2013, Leon was ordered to be sent to the Napa State Hospital, which is a locked psychiatric center, to be medicated and brought to competency. The deputy district attorney who handled the case, Stacy Pettigrew, did not argue with the psychiatrist's decision and declined to make a comment. The judge gave Leon and the hospital 3 years to bring Leon to competency. If he wasn't able to be brought to competency, he would be placed under a conservator who would be in charge of making all of his life's decisions. Between April 2013 and February 2015, doctors from the hospital were required to submit reports to the court as to his progress in regaining competency. They had all agreed that he was not competent to stand trial during that time. Then in July of 2015, the director of the Napa State Hospital officially certified Leon as being mentally competent. Leon's defense attorney argued this finding and asked to have a hearing regarding the issue. In November of 2015, 6 doctors testified, and the judge later ruled that the defendant was not mentally competent to stand trial, and he was ordered to return to the hospital. Reports from 3 doctors were sent to the court, and on April 11, 2017, the judge ruled that Leon was, finally, competent to stand trial. Just weeks later, on May 2, 2017, Leon entered a plea of no contest to all of the charges he was being charged with. Because he took the plea and didn't ask for a trial, the state decided not to pursue the death penalty. On July 14, 2017, over 5 years after the shooting, Leon was sentenced to 7 consecutive terms of life in prison without parole, plus a consecutive indeterminate term of 271 years to life. During the course of their investigation, police were able to prove that the .45 caliber pistol was purchased legally by Leon at least 2 months prior to the shooting. The gun was later found in a saltwater channel not far from the school. In addition to the gun, 3 empty magazines were found nearby in the mud. In another shocking twist, on March 20, 2019, Leon was pronounced as dead by the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. He was incarcerated at the California State Prison, Sacramento. At the time of this episode, No cause of death has yet to be released. As you know, we stress the importance of if you see something, say something on this podcast. And this tragic case is another example that if you see someone who appears to be struggling, lend a hand and ask if they need help. You never know how many lives you could be saving. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Active Shooter, the podcast. Remember, if you see something, say something. There's no telling how many lives you may be saving.
A huge thank you to Darren Curtis, who composed some of the music used in this episode. Check him out at darrencurtismusic.com. DARRENCURTIS music.com.
Active shooter, reports of an active shooter,
mass casualty incidents.
Make sure to check us out on social media. We have a discussion group on Facebook. Just search for Active Shooter, the podcast discussion group. You can also find us on Instagram at Active the Podcast and Twitter at Podcast Active. For just $1 a month, you can get access to ad-free episodes, early release episodes when available, and a shout-out on the show. Just go to patreon.com/Active the Podcast. Thank you, and be safe.
Hi there, my name's Elise, and I am a lawyer in the Pacific Northwest. I host this podcast, True Crime Cat Lawyer, with my co-host, Winston, my cat. She is a mustache, bow-tied, fierce little ball of sass, and we both come to you every other Thursday telling some stories from our hometown of the Pacific Northwest. We try to cover cases from Oregon, Washington, Alaska. We're hoping to cover some from Canada soon. And we just like telling crime stories that are lesser known in the true crime community, but we do also cover some of the big ones. And if you are interested in learning more about our podcast, True Crime Cat Lawyer, you can head over to our website, truecrimecatLawyer.com, or you can send us a quick email at truecrimecatLawyer@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram and Twitter, and we are available on pretty much every podcast platform that you will listen to. We hope you enjoy what you hear, and we hope you'll tune in. Thanks.